Hey everyone, it's Ohad here, geriatric care manager at Covered Caregiver. I'm sitting at a friend's house, and it's important to bring up because we just had a conversation with them about a family situation with their father who is currently hospitalized after falling, hitting his head, and falling unconscious. Luckily, there was a caregiver at the home, so attention was right away to the matter, called emergency services. But of course, they're in the hospital. The other portion to all of this is that the caregiver should be there more often, because if the fall occurred while at night when the caregiver was not there, poor gentleman would have been laying there for hours at a time until one of the daughters or the caregiver arrived. And that's just more brutal for the situation we're in. However, this is the more pertinent information at this time. The father's in the hospital, and very stubborn individual, and we come across this from time to time, and many families can relate with that. And over the years, has declined often caregiving services. So we are at a point where years have gone by where some type of level of care services are in the home, but this gentleman needs 24/7. And with that being said, we're in a junction in the road. He's in the hospital. He had a fall. We're worried that this may have been during the night, or in the future could have been in the night where no help was there. And so in a situation like this, let's get right to it. Before discharge, we want to speak with the case managers. We want to speak with the social workers. If we get a chance to speak with the physicians, we want to be in a position where hopefully the case managers have already approached the family about this. We don't know at the moment. It's so brand new. But we want them to discharge upon securing of caregivers. When that is secure, then we can discharge dad to come home. And if it's not secure, then we want to be on top of that with dad. Dad is a bit stubborn, as we spoke about. So if the family can speak directly to the case managers or the social workers about having discharge only when the secured caregivers are in place, then they should comply with a discharge. Now, it's not a decision that the family can make when discharge would occur, but we want them to let the healthcare workers take the lead on this. Because if dad's been stubborn with himself, with his family, then he may not be so stubborn with the healthcare workers. Because when it gets to the point where his injuries are beginning to be a burden on the healthcare system, every month, every other month, he's in the hospital for a fall or for whatever reason, because of previous occurrences when caregivers could have assisted, then if it comes from a standpoint that the healthcare system is asking for the caregivers to be secure, then it's a different angle that the father could actually assess and come to a realization that maybe now is the time to actually have a caregiver in place 24/7. So we want to approach this. If dad or mom are in the hospital and they've been stubborn about years and years of caregiving services, and even at this point, they're in the hospital and they're saying, I still don't need the caregiving after I fell on my own, then it's important to address this with the case manager. It's important to address this with the social worker. And if you can discuss this with the physician so that they don't sign off on discharge until securing the caregivers, then at least you brought that up to the surface. Hospitals sometimes, or oftentimes, are very busy, and they need to move patients along, have them discharged so new patients who are in the ER or other patients who need to be admitted have a bed in the hospital. So another situation is to refer to a skilled nursing facility where they may spend a week to 10 days, maybe even 2 weeks of skilled nursing care. And that gives them another opportunity and another layer of healthcare workers suggesting to the patient to provide caregiving services and secure 24/7 upon discharge. Just another reminder and another level of healthcare workers requiring that level of service, so that we don't face this time and time again where a parent is in the hospital, and even as stubborn as they are or may not realize what they are as a burden not only on the healthcare system but on their families, at least taking a standpoint from the healthcare perspective, let them take the lead and demand and require caregiving services be secured 24/7 before discharge. This may change the perspective, and you know what? It might not just simply change. They may just essentially bow down to the idea that they need caregiving services because now it's coming from a healthcare standpoint. I hope this video was helpful. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them in the comment section. We would love to address that for you. This is what we do. We see this very often. And just a very strong strategy here, just to conclude, if mom or dad are stubborn, don't like the idea of caregiving all 24/7, but they have to come to the realization not only that they're in the hospital now, and this is one of many times that they've been hospitalized, but if it comes from the healthcare workers, they won't be discharged unless caregiving is now secure full-time in the home, then they're going to look at it differently. And if they don't, at least this is a very strong attempt in doing so. Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one.